Hey guys, welcome back. It's Logo73 here to create our third video. Today we are going to install Windows Server 2016 on Hyper-V. And so this will be our first base virtual hard disk that we're going to use to then create all of our other servers. The benefit of using Hyper-V is that I can create one virtual hard disk. I can do the install, do all the updates, and then shut that down and make a copy. And then I can attach that to a new virtual disk and boot up a brand new server without having to do a brand new install and all the updates again. So this is something that I actually use in my production environment with Hyper-V. Go ahead and get that open and actually to where I have my DHCP server, my domain controller, my print server, all of those are on virtual disks. And so when I need a new server, I just make a copy and boot that up, attach it to a virtual machine and boot that up and go through the setup. But I don't have to spend that 2-3 hours to do all the updates. And so this is a much faster way of getting a server up and going. So even though this is our test environment, this is exactly what I do in a production environment also. So the first thing we want to do is come over here to New and create a virtual machine. So this is going to create a virtual machine just like you would put a flash drive or a disk in a actual physical machine and boot up. That's the goal here. So the first thing I'm going to do is name this virtual machine, and we're just going to call it Windows. Actually, let's call it an image. Capitalize that. Image WS. Put dash in there, WS 2016. Okay, next we're going to go with Gen 2 for our machine. I'm going to call this 1024 for our startup RAM, and we're going to use dynamic memory. I'll set that up in a second. We're going to just have one NIC, so we're going to use that NIC for our network connection. And next, it goes ahead and automatically names it. You can change it if you want. I'm going to go with 30 gigs for our, this is a dynamically expanding virtual hard disk, which means if it needs more space, it's going to get bigger. We can go into creating different kind of disks later in a video, but for right now, that'll work for us. And so we're going to go to next. We're going to install the OS later, and we get a summary and click finish. And this is normally pretty quick. So we've got our virtual machine connected. Just to kind of show you what's going on the back end, when we set up Hyper-V, we told it where to save everything in this Hyper-V folder. So we have our machines in here. This is that actual machine. If I was to delete this, this would all go away. And then inside here we see the virtual hard disk right there. So it's not very big at this point, but as we put more stuff on it, that'll expand. Okay, so that's what's going on in the back end. Let's right click on this and go to settings. And the first thing I want to do is come down here to the SCSI controller and put a disk drive in this machine. And we're going to go to images and data, ISO, Windows Server 2016, and this is the ISO I've downloaded with our server software on it. So I'm going to attach this and click apply. And now when I go back up here to firmware, it has this DVD listed. Otherwise it wouldn't be listed if I hadn't done that first. And so now I can move this up to the top. I'm going to move network down to the bottom because we're not going to PXE boot. So the machine is going to boot to the DVD drive, then it's going to boot to the hard drive, and then the network adapter, which would be irrelevant at this point. So I've got my boot order set. I'm going to go to the memory. We are using dynamic memory. We told it to start up with 1024. If the Hyper-V manager says it's okay to drop down, we're not using much, it can go down to 512, and let's limit the max of 2048. So I've only got 8 gigs and I want to set this very high. If you've got a lot of RAM, you can set that higher. We're going to leave this on memory weight. We're going to leave it as the average setting, the default setting. Processors, I like to jump this up to 2. Our hard drive should be good because we just set that up. DVD should be good. Integrated services, I like to turn on guest services. And let's talk about automatic startup or start action. So when you start your Hyper-V machine, your host, it's going to go through and start these machines. And right now it's set to as soon as automatically start it if it was running when the service stopped. So the Hyper-V machine gets shut down, it restarts, and if this was running, it's going to go ahead and boot. In a production environment, I actually stagger these. So regardless of whether it was on or not, when the host machine boots up, I have my DHCP server set on 60 seconds, my domain controller set on 120. You can do like your print server on 180, and you can just stagger those where they layer in and don't all start at the same time hitting your hardware. So you can give it whatever time frame you want. But that's what I do in a production environment. Right now I'm just going to go ahead and start this when the host starts up. And then the other one that we should talk about is the stop action. You can just save the virtual machine state. So whatever it's doing when the host machine is shut down, it'll just save that. What I like to do is actually shut down the machine. I don't advise turning it off. You could crash your OS. But shutting down the guest operating system, so to go through a full shutdown, if it needs to do updates, whatever, it'll do that if you have that set up. And then when it boots back up, you had those other options that I just discussed before this. So right now I'm actually going to change this to shutdown and go ahead and click apply and save those settings. So we should be good to go. I can right click and start this, but what I'm going to do, you can also connect. I'm just going to double click on this and it'll open up a window. And so right here's the power button, just like I'm turning on any machine. And I should have to push the spacebar, or I always push spacebar. You can push any key. And it's going to boot like it's a CD into our environment, and this will take just a second. I will pause this for a moment while it goes through this boot up process. Okay, so once it gets through the boot up process, you come to the GUI here, and you can click your language version. Probably most of you are viewing in English, so next and install. And then it's going to ask us whether we want to do the bare metal installation or the GUI setup. We'll have a choice between the data center setup or just the standard. If it takes too much longer, I'll pause the video. Okay, it was only a couple more seconds after I paused that, but here's our options I was talking about. We're just going to go with the desktop version. Usually before other versions, I think it said GUI here, but these are the bare metal options, and then you have the normal versions that most people install. So that's the one we're going to pick here, and click next. And then it's going to take a look at our hard drive. Oh, okay. Volume licensing, you need to accept the license. We want to do a custom. We're not upgrading an OS. And so this is a blank hard drive. We just installed that virtual hard disk with 30 gigs. And so on a real machine, you might have a previous installation. I just click on those and delete them. Make sure that you don't delete a secondary hard drive with all of your data on it. So make sure you pay attention to the disk drives. The OS is usually on drive 0. I only have one here, so I'm going to go ahead and click next. And it's going to begin our installation. And this will take a while, so I will pause this. I'm going to let it run all the way through this, and when it's done with the installation, I'll bring the video back up. Alright, welcome back. It looks like the installation's finished, and so once it restarts, it'll bring up this menu. And so what it's wanting to do is set the local administrator account. So we haven't joined this to a domain yet, so if the machine is off a domain or leaves a domain, you're going to need the administrator account. So what I'm going to do here is just put in the generic password we've been using, so password with a capital P, and take a look at that. And again, And so we'll click Finish. Let's see, it does not meet the password complexity. Okay. Alright, the normal password I guess I used does, so we'll just say password #1. Number 1. There we go. Alright, so it's going to go ahead and create my profile and then ask me to sign in using that password. Not quite sure. Okay, so it was fairly quick. So on a Hyper-V machine, you can come up here and click this button here, and it'll do the Control-Alt-Delete for you. And so now we're going to enter that password and actually sign in. And this probably will take a couple minutes, so let me go ahead and pause one more time. I don't like to leave you with a lot of dead space in the video. Okay, so that did take about another minute. The machine's still kind of booting up here. The very first thing it wants to do is know about our network. I don't really want to share anything here, so I'm going to click No. And by default, it's going to open Server Manager. And so I don't like it to do this. I don't need to know this. So I'm going to hide this. I'm going to come into Manage and go down to Properties, and I don't want Server Manager to start every time, so I'm going to turn this off and click OK, and go ahead and close Server Manager. And so by default it actually looks like Windows 10 Server 2016. The very first thing that I want to do here is come down to the Start button and go to Settings. Looks like it's still waking up a little bit from this boot up, and then go to, let's maximize this, go to Update and Security, and I'm going to go ahead and run updates. So this process will take quite a while. I'm just going to do this off the video. It'll probably take me quite a while. So I'm going to pause the video while it does this updates. I think most of you have done this before. We're just going to install the updates and keep installing until it's done. So I will restart the video once I'm done with the updates, and then we'll shut it down and show you how to copy this over to create a new virtual machine. And we're back. So I've done updates several times, and it's restarted my machine, and so it looks like it's up to date. So what I want to do now is go ahead and shut this machine down. And so I'm going to come down here, click the Start button, and shut down, and just click Continue. And it's going to shut down this virtual machine. Should be about done. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and close that window and open up Hyper-V Manager again. And so the machine is off, and let's go to File Explorer and go to the data drive and go to Hyper-V and hard disks. And this is that hard disk that's now shut down. So what I'm going to do is right click and copy and come over here and paste. And so it's going to make a copy of that hard drive, and this is going to take obviously a little while. So again, I'm going to pause just so there's no dead space in the video. You're free to rewind or pause, whatever you need to do as you make notes as you go through the video. Alright, so once again that task is complete, and we have a duplicate copy of this virtual hard drive inside our Hyper-V folder. While we're offline here, once I finish this video, I'm going to do the exact same process for Windows 10. I'm going to create a virtual machine and install Windows 10 for education, actually, which is pretty much the same as just a standard copy of Windows 10. And create an image of that and then shut it down and make a duplicate copy so I can create as many client machines for Windows 10 as I need to as we move forward in the video in the series. So what I'm going to do in the next video, so video 4, is actually bring a server online, show you how to do that in Hyper-V and the steps that you need to go through to make that server active. And so it'll actually be our domain controller, the first one that'll bring online. And so look forward to seeing you in the next video for video number 4. Thanks for watching.